themselves, and then 2 further close contacts of that case. The fact that all of these cases were in hotel quarantine is a credit to our contact tracers who've done a fantastic job, and our hotel quarantine services. And of course, all of those people who come forward as contacts of cases, they do a service to the community by keeping the community safe and staying in hotel quarantine. Those 4 cases mean we now have 39 active cases. Our total number since the pandemic began more than 511 days ago is 1,677. We continue to test more than 10,000 tests in the past 24 hours. Our vaccination rate remains high, 13,985 in the last 24 hours, bringing us to 477,000 total vaccines administered here in Queensland. Of course, we remain very concerned about the emerging situation in Sydney, the Delta variant outbreak in Sydney. What we've seen with some of the cases there is that it is highly, highly infectious. Fleeting contacts of 5 to 10 seconds can result in infection. It means you only have to be in the same breathing space as someone with this variant to risk contracting it. I noted that the New South Wales Health Minister, Brad Hazzard, somebody I worked with very closely, said he was as concerned now as he has been at any point during this pandemic, and that means we are concerned. We are monitoring it very, very closely. It's important that anyone who is sick gets tested, but in particular, anyone who has been in Sydney. This outbreak really could test all of our systems, everything that we have developed over this pandemic, and so it's incredibly important that we get this right. The new restrictions for people who've been in Sydney came into effect in Queensland at 1 a.m. this morning. That means non-Queensland residents who've been in Greater Sydney, Central Coast, Blue Mountains, Wollongong and Shell Harbour cannot enter Queensland. Queenslanders who've been in those locations will need to go into hotel quarantine. Police have been meeting flights at our airports this morning and turning people around, and so we'd like to send a message to anyone in Sydney who is thinking of coming up to Queensland: please don't. We have asked the airlines to provide alerts at Sydney Airport, but we really want to get this message across that if you fly into Brisbane or the Gold Coast this morning and you're not permitted to enter, you will be turned around. If you're a Queensland resident, you will go into hotel quarantine. I understand on the first flight that arrived alone, there was 120 passengers, 20 of them were sent back to Sydney. So it's incredibly important that anyone thinking of coming up understand what the rules, what those rules are. We're also urging Queenslanders to take up the opportunity that will come with some cancelled bookings. We know that on the Gold and Sunshine Coast, for example, 20 to 25% of bookings for the weekend and the early school holidays could well be cancelled, and that is a chance for Queenslanders who've not yet booked their holidays to please consider the Gold and Sunshine Coast. Similarly, the number of people from Sydney who had planned to travel up for State of Origin on Sunday means that our CBD hotels will be experiencing cancellations. We expect somewhere up to 40% of hotel rooms that were booked this weekend could now become vacant. So that's a chance for anyone who might not have had plans to stay overnight after the Origin, or who want to have a weekend in town. This is a great opportunity to book a CBD CBD hotel, and that's one way we can all help out our local